Anytime you may be feeling stressed out throughout your day, regardless of where you are, you can do this. It's very simple, only takes a few seconds, really. Okay, technically it takes 19 seconds, and if you do it a few times, it may take you 2 to 3 minutes, but it's worth it. You can do it anywhere, like I said. This is the 4-7-8 breathing method. Now, maybe you've heard about this, maybe you've done it yourself, maybe this is brand new to you, but it was created, as far as I can tell, by the quite famous health and well-being Dr. Andrew Weil. And it's certainly not the only breathing technique you can do, but it is a really simple one. And it goes something like this. We inhale for 4 seconds, we hold our breath for 7 seconds, we exhale for 8 seconds. So let's do it together. First, quick inhale, quick exhale, and we begin. Hold, exhale. That's it. That's how you do it. So let's do it again. We're going to inhale for 4 seconds. So inhale, hold, exhale. And again, that's all there is to it. So what's happening when you do this? Number one, you're taking conscious control of your breath and whatever is happening around you at the moment. Just doing that, just by you taking control, helps to shift you from a stressed position to a more relaxed position. Because let's face it, the body is simple, but very complex, but it's smart. So essentially we have either a stress response or a relaxation response, and they're two very extreme ends of the spectrum, and you float somewhere between them all day long, right? But anytime you start leaning more towards that stressed section and you feel like you need to get a little bit more relaxed, when you stop and you decide, I am going to feel calm right now. Just by starting there, you already put yourself a step or two in the right direction. But here's the cool trick of the breath hold. This is where a lot of people wonder, why am I holding my breath? The breath hold allows carbon dioxide to start building up. Now, you would think too much carbon dioxide would be bad. Eventually it is. But the really interesting thing is, in order for the red blood cells to actually release the oxygen that is stored within them, I guess technically the hemoglobin that's in the red blood cells, to release the oxygen particles so that our bodies can use them, it has to have carbon dioxide. And so as the carbon dioxide elevates, it signals to the hemoglobin to release more of the oxygen. And then now that we've released more of the oxygen from the blood, now it can be used by the body itself, right? So that's a key element to the breath holding that a lot of people don't think about, or they just don't understand, or they never ask the question. And here's another cool thing about the intentional raising of the carbon dioxide. We do, like I said, too much carbon dioxide, definitely a bad thing, right? And our body internally has those sensors for, hey, this is getting to be too much, we should get rid of it. And that causes that, right? Too much of it will cause that stress and panic. Now, just like any progressive overloading, if you're into any sort of weightlifting or exercise, you know that part of the getting stronger process is starting with something that you can easily control, and then moving up to something that's a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder, right? So you're progressively overloading. So the breath work can be the exact same thing. We want to progressively overload our ability, right, to handle the carbon dioxide. And by doing this, we actually build this giant bubble around ourselves, we could say, you know, metaphorically building this bubble of peaceful protection around ourselves. Because the more accustomed we get to higher levels of carbon dioxide, the longer you can hold your breath and still remain calm. Now, one of the things that this does is over time, it allows you to increase the gap of your stress tolerance so that normal everyday life, as it ebbs and flows, just simply doesn't trigger the stress responses that it used to. That's it. Take this breath work, go do it. Again, anytime, any place. You don't even have to, people don't even have to know you're doing it, right? You don't have to change clothes. You don't have to get into certain positions. You just inhale and hold your breath and exhale, and it's quiet. Nobody knows what's going on except you and your biology. So enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon.